Welcome back, everybody. This is Julie, this is Two Non-Critics and a Cat, and I'm here with my sister and my lovely Feds. How are you guys?
I'm sweating.
So there is a preparation, which is basically we are doing the podcast and we do the podcast recording all together, the three audios. And I said to Federica, please, when I say 3, 2, 1, and I say Q and I say Q, record it. And she was
the hardest
sweating
thing I had to do
profusely.
today.
Yeah. She was sweating profusely. So this is what happens behind the cameras. How are you guys?
We're good.
We're good.
What have you been doing this week? Federica, you're back finally.
Yes, I am.
Where did you go?
I went back home to visit family and sleep, because that's what I did for a whole week.
I also have 3 days off, and I've been sleeping 3 days off, honestly.
The level of energy is really high.
It's the best feeling in the world, honestly.
I went out a lot, actually, because it was very sunny here in London for a few days, actually.
It still is.
It still is, and it still will be. So I was out all the time. I went for...
This is our summer, guys, so...
Yeah, exactly. I went for a walk.
It's 10 degrees, yeah.
Yesterday, I went for a walk. Today, I had 2 ice creams for £5.65. Honestly, let's talk about this. I had a small cup for £4.95 with one flavor. And then I had a small cone with one flavor, £5.65. I was like, are you...
Was it a robbery?
The episode of today is centered in robbery, so that...
it's our ice cream place, by the way, without doing names, but it's our ice cream place. The one...
It's an Italian ice cream place.
Yeah, the one in Angel.
We won't make names.
I was
okay.
I was shocked. Also, the guy said yesterday to me, I'm sorry, I finished the cones. And I was like, okay. And today, it was the same. I'm sorry, I finished the cones. And I'm like...
It's an ice cream place. You have to have
It's an ice cream
thing.
place, okay? And you know that it's going to be 21 degrees. Because the whole city of London knew. And you have an ice cream place, so you should know. And you finished the cone at 1:30 p.m. It was 1:30 p.m. Now, tell me, who goes for an ice cream before 1:30 p.m.? Like
British
you have
people.
breakfast with an ice cream.
Oh my God, Martina's been very inquisitive this week.
I was like, why?
Meanwhile,
we'll call this episode the ice cream disaster.
20 extra pound, and I ordered a
real pain.
Box of 750 millimeters of ice cream, because that's what I've done. I've ordered it.
Millimeters.
Milliliters.
Okay. Understood. Millimeters. I was like,
no,
it goes in kilometers.
Yeah, that's how long it took to bring it. But yeah,
Americans are very confused right now.
Oh my goodness.
Ounce. It's in an ounce.
No, it's a.
So how many flavors did you eat in Italy?
I got 4 flavors.
Here we go.
€2.
4 flavors.
For €2. Yes, I had one for 5.
No, for 25.
Ah, okay, 25.
Yeah, I got the big box
I thought you meant 25 flavors.
No. I got
Okay,
the big
anyway.
box.
For this 4 minutes of talking about ice cream,
Ice cream?
they're great.
This is a new podcast for you.
Yes.
The ice cream disaster.
Yeah, that's what happens when there is sun, like for 3 days, for 5-7 days.
Harry Potter and the
It's been a
Mystery
while.
of the Ice Cream.
Well, on my mental health walk today, I saw a guy sunbathing, so there's that.
Sunbathing.
I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that every.
It's
I
minus
did that
10.
every morning. I did that every morning.
It's Antarctica sunbathing.
It's not. It's not cold. I was in t-shirt today. Where do you
Well,
live?
it was slightly windy when I came out, but
What
I
is
guess
happening to my nose?
yeah, it's all right. I mean, definitely sunbathing weather.
Anyway, let's talk about the topic
What we
at
watched
hand.
this week, instead of having issues with the sunbathing
Allora,
and
first
ice
of
cream.
all, so I just want to say that the next episode, I would like to do like the Odyssey kind of talking about
Review.
the book and what we think he's gonna do with his adaptation, who the characters we think they are, and the pictures. Julie, doing things.
Sorry, my nose
On
is
the
having a
video
moment right
that,
now.
like, I cannot even describe. But anyway, we are preparing an episode on the Odyssey, preparing for Nolan movie that is shooting right now in Greece.
Very informative episode.
Well,
A
they're
very
actually in
informative one, yes.
Favignana.
Yeah, they are in Favignana, in Sicily, yes.
Because Robert Pattinson and Anne Hathaway landed, and there's like, I think Robert Pattinson is having like PTSD from Montepulciano when he went there to shoot New Moon, because there's people screaming his name everywhere, and he doesn't have a really good track record with Italy. But yeah, apparently he plays Hermes.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a small role then, because he's
Yeah, he has
not
a
in
small
it a
role.
lot.
No, and it's and Anne Hathaway is Penelope, so there's that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love it. I almost finished it. That's why we're doing it next week. I'm on book 20 of 24. So I'm almost
you're
there.
almost there.
I'm almost there when the Odysseus talk to Penelope again. Like
That's
after
nice.
going back to it.
So,
Don't spoil
yeah.
anything, Federica. I will kill you because I'm so into this book. I read it in a week and a half. But
Martina, what do you mean don't spoil anything?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know it.
It's okay.
I didn't
It's
study
like
when I
telling
was in
someone not to
school.
spoil the Bible.
I didn't study when I was in school. Sorry, I didn't have.
We went to the same school.
I didn't have a very engaging Italian teacher. Sorry.
Oh, that's fantastic. No, I did
I
actually.
didn't
I
have
had
a good
really one.
relationship with her. I had a great
she's
relationship
actually-
with my history and philosophy teacher.
Yeah,
who is-
she's one of those people that actually wrote me a letter when I left for England, which was like 2 years after I finished school and 3 years after she was my teacher. So yes.
Okay, but anyway,
really
yes, I
nice-
don't know how it ends, but actually, it's a great book. I don't understand how I wasn't like.
It's not a book. That's the problem. It's a collection of stories.
It's 24
It's an
books.
Atlantis of stories.
Theoretically.
It's long. Because a lot of
The-
people don't read it.
It depends on how the teacher teaches it to you. Like,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
I remember people saying how good is the Divine Comedy,
I love it.
and I was like, I couldn't get on board with it because my Italian teacher at the time in high school was a woman of God. So everything was about Christianity and religion, and it got so boring, and we spent so much time in hell that literally felt like hell. So there you go. We weren't just reading about it; we were
Hell
living
is
it
the
through
funny
it.
part. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, you're right though. It depends a lot on how you manage to get engaged by your professor. If
my
they're
God,
passionate about what they're doing, you know.
What is that?
I just saw nature happening in my.
Today's episode is quite relaxing,
Yeah,
as you
it's
can
like,
tell.
I think we are inside a documentary.
I swear to God. So there's because I opened the windows today because it was such nice weather. I now have a zoo in my flat.
She has the cast of
And at the
Avatar
moment, I
inside.
just saw the food chain happening because there was a little spider trapping a little mosquito or something, and I was like, okay, I'm watching that live. It's good.
And that is how the food chains happen.
Exactly.
You know,
Guys, what have you watched this week?
yeah, what did we
What
watch
is
this
happening?
week?
We're gonna speak about the Odyssey next week. Don't worry.
Yes, go.
Me? I start first?
I watched nothing.
That's really bad, Martina. That's really bad. You should do your homeworks. So I watched the first thing that I watched a lot of things, but I'm gonna speak about 3 of them mainly. The first one is Ripley with my man Andrew Scott, which I absolutely adored, and he literally left me clapping my hands at the end and not screaming. Like, it was so entertaining. It was crazy. Then I watched, also it's the fact that it's black and white, so I would hate something in black and white. To be fair, I was losing my mind after the fifth episode, but it's good. It's too good not to watch it. Then I watched Scoop, which is the story of Jeffrey Epstein, and it's a true story. It's a story of a journalist, actually, that did the scoop for Jeffrey Epstein. And,
Where is this?
Prince Andrew, and on Netflix.
Oh, really?
I'm doing my Netflix watch list.
There is another one on Netflix on him. I don't remember the name, but there is another one.
That was the one
The
that
famous
was really
one.
famous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. The famous one, the original one.
No, the Jeffrey Epstein documentary is that one. Yeah, no,
This is another one.
It's the story about the journalist that did the scoop of the interview in Newsnight when it came out.
But it's still
It
on
was the
Netflix,
most-
right?
Yeah, it was the most watched interview of like 10, 20 years, and that's why they were documentary. It was really cute. It's really funny, actually. There's Adam from Sex Education, which is very funny. And what else did I watch? I watched one last thing that I told you about 10 minutes ago, and I completely forgot.
The Society of Snow.
Society of the Snow, which I don't know why I forgot, because it actually made me cry blood out of my eyes. It was beautiful, and I had the sense that it was a true story because we spoke about this already, but I didn't actually register until the end.
It
and
is
then
a
I
Spanish
went,
movie, you know?
oh my God, it was one of the most... Martina, Federica, without actually saying something that I don't feel, it was one of the most beautiful movies that I ever watched. It was so intense. It was so well made. So particular in the narration. So beautiful to watch. I was constantly in pain for these characters. And the fact that it's a true story, of course, it makes it even worse. The actors were absolutely fantastic. Honestly, it left me in tears. It left me there for 2 hours and 35 minutes.
This is on Netflix as well.
Batting an eye, yeah.
This was, you know, I don't know if you remember, but it was, this is a Spanish movie. And it
I
was
do remember.
nominated
It was
at the Oscars last year
yeah.
for Best International Movie. But it didn't win, The Zone of
It
Interest.
Anatomy of a Fool won. Was it?
No, The Zone of Interest, no?
Ah, right, yeah, sorry.
The Zone of Interest
I mean,
one.
I understand the Zone of Interest. It would have been a really good call in between the Zone of Interest and Society
yeah,
of the
exactly.
Snow.
But he was one of the front runner.
But Society of the Snow, honestly, it was heartbreaking. It was beautiful. Honestly, I would rewatch it 100%. I would rewatch it 100%. Like a movie so tragic and of 2 hours and a half. Like I would definitely. It's too beautiful not to watch again. Genuinely, if you haven't seen it, you should see it because it's genuinely just mind-blowing to watch.
interesting.
The story is incredibly sad and it's incredibly powerful. It kind of represents like the indomitable spirit of the human being and like, you know, how they survive, which is a true story. I bawled my eyes out, honestly. It was beautiful.
I wanted to watch it. The only thing is I was a bit conscious of maybe it's a bit too graphic,
very dark.
you know? No, not dark, graphic.
It's not extremely graphic.
I
but
thought,
it's
I
very
don't know, I
dark.
thought maybe they eat each other.
It gives you the sense, you know what is it about?
Yeah, there's accident with
It's a story of
flight
the story
accident
of
and
like
they get
17
in
people
this,
that survived
very
the
cold,
Chilean disaster with the plane. Yes, and they like the place where they dropped. It was the Andes. It was literally a desolated, God-forsaken place. And at some point, they had to resort to actually eating people, which they were already dead for many other reasons,
here we go.
conditions,
That's why I didn't
infections.
watch it.
It's not really graphic, and you will understand why. They battle themselves religiously because they're Chilean people, of course, the Chilean people. So they battle themselves religiously on if they should do this or not. So that's the reason why. At some point, what for them, it says in the movie, what for them was unthinkable, it becomes completely normal. And at some point, that is the last thing that you think about. Because you start thinking, how the hell did these people survive for 17 days, 14 days, how many? Sorry. It was 3 months, actually, but it was 14 people. That's why I said 14. And it's incredible that how they survived. But that is not graphic, and there's a reason why it's not graphic. So I hope you do watch it. It's not that bad.
Okay, I will think about it. Anything else?
That's all I watched. Ripley, I want to marry Andrew Scott. He's so... I never understood why... I never understood why he was casted as Moriarty like 15, 20 years ago when he was doing the Sherlock BBC. And then I saw Ripley and I went, perfect. I need to watch Moriarty. I need to watch Sherlock again.
Yeah.
It's a classic noir. It's a classic like mystery. He's so good at it. Oh my God.
He's so good at everything. I feel like this guy.
He's a man of theater, that's why.
He's super underrated. because he's done so
Incredibly.
much and he's won so little.
Incredibly.
And he's done, if you think about it, it didn't do much internationally. Like, I mean, it did, but like not Hollywood.
He's very English based.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. He's Irish, but he's done stuff in England, like in Europe, let's say, mainly.
It's also almost that time of of my life that I watch All of Us as Strangers, so you will hear me cry in the next week.
Yeah. Okay. And then, by the way, now talking about All of Us Strangers, Paul Mescal. Did you see the cast of the Beatles movie?
Yes.
Did you see, Federica?
Yeah, I did.
It's like Barry Keoghan, Paul Mescal, Joseph
yeah.
Quinn, and
Yep.
I forgot the fourth one.
God forgive me, I don't remember.
my
But
God.
isn't Paul Mescal Paul McCartney?
Yeah, he is.
Who is John Lennon? Joseph Quinn,
No.
Barry
no.
Keoghan, the other guy.
Give me a second.
I honestly don't remember, but I was quite taken with the cast.
Harry Dickinson as well, which is the actor that played the male counterpart for Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl.
I see,
right.
yeah. And
Yep.
it's Sam Mendes directing it, no?
Yes, exactly. So Paul Mescal is Paul McCartney, Harry Dickinson is Lennon, Joseph Quinn is Harrison, and Barry Keoghan is Starr.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And I can see all of them.
And Sam Mendes, isn't he the ex-husband of Kate Winslet?
Yes,
Here we
he
go.
is.
No,
Correct.
no, now that we've done all our analytics, we can go ahead.
Now that we have taken out the tism.
Anyway, it's funny how they picked two Irish to do very British characters.
True.
Because, I mean, the Beatles are the embodiment of, British.
In
They're Liverpool, but,
Yeah, I think I don't know how they're gonna play the movie or what's gonna be the angle, but it's always been Lennon and Paul McCartney the strongest voice.
Yes.
The other two always fell in the background a little bit.
Yes.
So, but I don't know. We shall see.
Mm-hmm. Julia's like a cocaine addict in this episode.
What you didn't know is that my mic was muted, so you didn't have to assist to.
Yeah, it's true. So we're doing this in a new way, which is why Feds was anxious because Julie was saying
She was
3,
pressing
2,
the
1,
bomb.
and then we had to record on 3 different tracks that then Julie's gonna put together. And it was like she was pushing the button for a board
that
to the
always
atomic
give me
bomb.
an excuse to be anxious about something, because if I'm not anxious, then I get
But I saw her
anxiety
face
because I'm not
petrified.
anxious.
She was literally just
Yeah.
petrified. She was there.
So basically, we're on FaceTime, and we don't realize we've been complaining that we couldn't hear Julia for a while, but actually, Feds, it doesn't matter because it's us that cannot hear Julia,
Exactly.
but the track is fine. So who cares?
I'm glad that we had to have this realization.
we
We
have
got to it in
cleared
the
that
end.
out. Great.
Yeah.
So everyone knows. So
We're so clever.
Feds, what did you watch this week? Because this is going to be the episode really this time. Like what we
It's
watched
gonna be
this
the
week,
last brain cell left in the
while
room.
we are preparing for the Odyssey next week.
So I watched season 1 and season 2 of Severance because I didn't jump on the bandwagon of being obsessed with Severance for some reason. I don't like watching stuff when it's all hyped up. And I gotta say, thank God I didn't, because apparently people had to wait like a year and a half for the second season. And with that cliffhanger, I couldn't have done that, to be honest. I was glad that I had watched the next episode. So that was great.
I forgot that I watched another movie, which makes sense for you because I waited 13 years to watch that movie. It was Rush, the one with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
I waited 13 years to watch that
That's
movie.
the movie that shot into the
I
stratosphere
waited,
Daniel Brühl.
I waited
Yeah,
6
it
to
was a
watch
good
Peaky
movie.
Blinders, not you?
Yeah,
6, 7, 8.
I think 7 years.
I watched it. The sixth season.
Well,
was
you
already
also
gone.
waited 15 years before you liked the Killing Murphy. While I was obsessed with him while he was doing Scarecrow. So
Funny.
Let's say that we're not really fast people
No, we're not.
when it comes to jumping
Yes,
into
anyway.
excitement, but that's okay.
Okay, and yes, go ahead.
So I loved Severance. So I heard mixed opinion from people. Some people, well, season 1 is amazing, season 2 not so great. I found it really good, both of them. I found a great evolution of the story. If you like Lost, if you like being, pardon the French, brain fucked, I think it's a great TV show. It's really, really, really well written, but it makes you feel a little bit uneasy. And it's not the idea of splitting yourself in two people, one that only works and one that only lives outside. That doesn't bother me too much as an idea for some reason. It's more the location and that is all set into this kind of like labyrinth that you don't know what is in. You don't even know where it's set in America. And for some reason, you don't even know how recent it is, if it's like in current times or if it's in the past or if in the future, because you have no context even when you are seeing the outside world. I enjoyed it, really, really enjoyed it, and I found it really clever in the writing. But yeah, some of the actors are quite creepy. The main actor and the actor that plays Mr. Milchick, they're really, really creepy in their facial expressions when they are in the severed floor, as they call it. But no, I would say it's a good watch. It's every episode is like an hour long, but it goes really fast. So you don't even notice it. Like I watched in the span of like 3 days. I was also almost missing my boarding at the airport to watch Severance, so that's great. Never happened before.
Yes, she texted me from the airport.
Yeah. And then what else did I watch? I watched the documentary about the black hole that Julia suggested last week, just because I like that stuff.
I forgot, actually.
This is why I have friends like Federica, because anything... Somebody got a message. Because anything that I suggest, music, video games, like I put it into Hogwarts Legacy, I put it into different musics, like anything that she listens to over and over again.
I need to remember the title and watch it. I should really listen.
Well, if you go on Netflix and you look Black Hole, it's the first one that appears.
Okay.
And it made me like, I was watching it and there were all these people having fantastic, brilliant, amazing, unlocked brains, because if you're a mathematician or a physician...
physicist. That's why I
physicist,
love...
yeah. Physician is a doctor.
Yeah. That's why I love... the Imitation Game, Oppenheimer, the scientist biopics. Here we go.
This one, like, watching this documentary does make you feel a little bit stupid, but you put yourself in the context of, I don't have the brain for that. Like, numbers confuse me. My sister knows. Like, I'm not good at math.
You should watch the story of the decrypting guy that decrypted the CIA statue.
Yeah,
that's gonna make you feel stupid.
It's but I find it fascinating when people understand and make numbers work for them, because to me it's like it's as if somebody told me, do you want to learn another language? Yeah, of course, great. But they put in front of me equations that are made with letters, not numbers, and I'm like, what is this?
No, that's something that I don't know.
I find it fascinating, just because I feel like they unlock another part of the brain that nobody has access to. And I remember that.
You know what's funny? That they do equations that have no, like,
they come up with equations.
Yeah, exactly. They come up with equations. Like, to me, to not have already the result, the outcome of the equation, it doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. No, they just do it, and then they find the results.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to know there is an outcome that is already definite. You know.
No, it's crazy, and I find it fascinating because it's in a way, it's their way of expressing or explaining the world as it is, or the universe, or whatever.
That they come with there's 1/3 of a chance that this equation could come in between a number of infinite between 9,000 and minus 500. And
and I'm like,
what?
Okay, yeah. I remember like when my sister was teaching me math and like helping me out, she will always tell me, Federica, pay attention. The number speaks to you. And I'm like, I don't understand numbers.
The number speaks to you. That sounds like a nightmare.
So when I was watching that, I was like, to them, they look at a blackboard and those numbers speaks to them so well. And I'm like, what am I looking at? I'm so stupid. Blah,
but
blah.
But I have to say, that's why I love reading. I'm reading a lot of books about physics. You know, I've been reading that for like a year and a half now. Almost 2 years. That's why I love it, because it really opens up your mind, you know, like
no, absolutely. Like I wish I could even comprehend a little bit more how much satisfying it can be that whatever you're putting on paper that you're coming up with, then it translates and it actually makes sense. Or when they're like comparing all the 4 different groups that privately were calculating all the images that they got from all the different telescopes around the globe, and then it came out with the same resolution and everything was great. I was like, I will never feel that kind of satisfaction.
Do you want to know something funny? You might think that you will never feel it, but I thought the same thing. And when I did my brief moment that I was doing forensic and we were doing the course for mechanical and stuff like that, there was like a bunch of equations and the professor actually explained it to me and I went, oh my God, I understand this. So we were talking about it before.
About the Odyssey. It's your professor needs to engage you. It's all about that.
No,
the professor was genuine, like one of the best people that I met, and he was just teaching me math that I never thought existed, and I actually understood. And I did my course, and I was like, "That's insane."
Fun fact: for my math problem, I cannot blame my teacher because she was actually really good. That she wanted me to actually never fail the class, which I never. But it took a lot out of me.
Yeah, but my question is, was she a good person or was she a good professor?
She was a good professor.
Okay, so she was able to engage with the topic. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot of professors that are great people, but they're not good at engaging with their topic because maybe they are not.
No, she was really good at engaging with her topic. And the weird part is that I was really good at physics. I was really good at biology and chemistry, but math, never been good at it. Never done great with it. Like my sister I was the bane of my sister's experience. She's an engineer, so for her numbers, it's like another language. She just does stuff straight away. Oh my God. And I'm like, I looked at it, I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. That was I had PTSD from that. But moving on.
I have PTSD from math in general.
Yeah. What else did I watch? I think I finished I watched Adolescence as you guys discussed last week.
Yeah, but I actually want to conclude on Adolescence.
Good.
Since all 3 of us watched it now, and since it's being very much talked about quite everywhere, I saw even expanding the borders a little bit. It's not only UK. So I'm curious what you think and what Julia thinks also, because I talked about it a lot last week. So I wanted to know your opinion.
It's interesting that it came out now, and unfortunately, coincidentally, around this time in Italy, there's been a few young women being killed.
Yeah, Marco was telling me literally an hour ago. He was like, what's going on? It's like 3, 4, one after the other.
It's been like in the past week, there's been like 3 or 4 people at the same time, 3 or 4 young women, like 21, 24, all being killed by either a boy that got rejected or their boyfriend or their ex-partner. So it's been quite heavy to reconcile the two.
Yeah, and this is in Italy. So this shows how this topic is actually, cross-border. It's not only an English topic,
It's a really difficult topic because we try to teach little boys to respect women, but at the same time, you also need to teach women to respect everyone. Julia just put in the dot. But it's I feel like, when people talk about nature and nurture, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even for how men treat women, it's coming from both.
Mm-hmm.
It's some of it is from nature, and some of it it's like nurture, because it's society. It's always been like men in every aspect are seen as superior, or as having to. You cannot say no to a man in any shape or form, and they are not used to getting rejected, because even when they're finding a job, it's easier for a man to find a job or to be promoted and not hear anybody say, oh, you got promoted just because of this, or you got this job because of that. It's always because they were right for the role, right for the skill. So I don't think he's changed. It just got worse because we have easier access to this kind of news, because now everything becomes sensationalized in a way. It's become reported. So it's just getting worse that with social media, everything is amplified to a 10. So you hear more about this, and there's more trying to be more sensibilization towards teaching children to learn the consequences of their action, which I think is what adolescence is about. Is not about bringing forward this is what men do or this is what social media does. It's more about, do you understand at a certain age that your action have consequences? It's like whenever in the episode where there's the psychologist going to visit the boy in the penitentiary or whatever it is. When she says that she's there to...
She's dead, and he's like, why do you keep saying that? And she's like, because she's dead,
Yeah. It's like, it's trying to make them understand that they are so immersed in such a fake world that it becomes quite difficult to see, do you really understand what it's going on, what you're doing, the reality of things? And that's the dangerous part of it all. It's the fact that kids nowadays grow up in where you think that, and the part that it's the best part, I think, the way that it describes it properly, is that the TV show starts in the bedroom and ends in the bedroom, and parents thinks that, oh, my kid is asleep in his room, they're safe.
But you're not.
That's where all the dangerous things happen, because that's where they have access to the internet and the computers, and where they delve into the insults they might receive, the bullying that they receive online, and they keep quiet. And because you think that they're in their room, you think that they're safe, but they're not. So I feel like it's
I think there was a lot to unpack in this.
Yeah, I think he said it really well in the interview that is there at the Jimmy Fallon, where he said that it takes a village to raise a child. And he's like, what if we look into what the village is actually doing for children? Are we helping them? Are we responsible or accountable for what's happening, because we can control it? So I think he explains that really well, I think.
I was a lot less interested in the masculinity aspect and a lot more in the social media aspect, I have to say. But I found it brilliant in that regard. Like that, I was listening to an interview that he did where he was saying that you cannot put all the blame on parents when these things happen, because there's so much that parents cannot know because of the world that we live in. They have to work and so on, and also there is an aspect to how tech savvy kids are in comparison to their parents. They are native digital and their parents are not, and for as much as we think we are tech savvy, did you know that stuff about the different colors of the emojis? I had no clue. So even who is tech savvy is 100 years behind. So how do you think you can control your kid, when you don't even know what they're telling each other?
I also wanted to know that I had no idea what the
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
I thought they were
And
like...
you're younger than us.
I thought that they were going insane. I thought that was like a joke for the...
Like the light bulb moment where
When they said Andrew Tate, I realized what they meant.
When
That's the only thing.
when the son of the policeman was like, you're reading the comments wrong. You're reading it wrong. This is what they actually mean. And it gives you that kind of perspective of the girl that is the victim that was also bullying the boy, which doesn't mean that they're justifying his action at all. It's just giving a different lens to see like everybody does something wrong because they're influenced that way, because it's their way of defending themselves to appear stronger than they are, to feel like they belong, feel like that they're outside.
Yeah,
so
feeling
again,
the acceptance and being popular and being liked and this obsession with it.
And that's more important than actually following your gut or be true to yourself or be nice and kind, which is horrible.
Yes,
I think.
Julie?
I agree with everything she said. To be fair, I had absolutely no idea what that meant, and I feel like the biggest topic in the TV show was the fact that they have no idea what is going on behind closed doors with their kids. Because when they actually started talking about Andrew Tate, I don't want to have 1 second of like actual giving it space, but when that came out, there was a lot of boys, men, or whatever, they actually sympathized with his words, and that was terrifying. Now, likely, he's gone completely cold. We don't know where he is. He probably trafficked someone, so he's in Romania in some prison somewhere. But, like, that was influential to people. And to a kid that has half of his brain not formed, that it's insane and it's terrifying and chilling to understand that he might follow those words.
They explained it really well in the scene where they're in the supermarket and the boy that is helping the father find the paint, is like, oh, are you the father? We stand by him. And it's like, it's so chilling because he's saying it's such a normal way.
And
as
it's
if
chilling for him as well.
And it's chilling for him as
like,
well.
You shouldn't, you know.
Exactly.
He never wanted to stand with him. That's the funniest thing about the TV show, that he's like, he's right there. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't want to even think about it.
No, so
plus that
the role of the
episode
father,
was really sad.
First of all, I found him, Stephen Graham, absolutely incredible.
It was
He
brilliant.
made me cry, sobbing all of my tears at some point in the last episode. But even, I think all of the emotions that I felt were linked to his performance. The kid was great, but he was something. I was living it through him for some reason. And no, but I was thinking in general, it's true we have to help these kids, but don't you think we're not helping these kids, and I mean boys mostly, by putting everything on the same like the same degree of seriousness, like it is not the same, because I don't know who was saying that, honestly. I don't remember, but there was an interview in which someone was saying, like, it's not the same to say to someone, you look nice today, or raping someone. Like, there's a massive...
Absolutely,
There is a massive difference. And today, it feels like you cannot do or say anything. So, these boys feels like there is no degree... They don't understand
There's no middle ground.
Yeah, here we go, of what they do, of the consequences of their action. Because if they cannot even say... you look nice today, then what's the point? Like, they can do anything. You know what I mean? It's like with prohibitionism. Like, if you forbid everything, then people start to try to, break the law. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same with this. Like, if you can do or say anything, then they are confused as to what is okay, and what it's not okay, and what it's outrageous,
On a certain level, I do agree. On another level, I think there is a wonderful phrase that always sticks in my mind, that is, you can meet yourself just as deeply as you can meet others just as deeply as you met yourself, which in this case would mean the same way that you respect someone, you will want to be respected and you will know what to do.
Yeah, of course.
So that means that I know exactly how to go to a person and actually say that compliment, because I always do compliment people without sounding like, is it like, I need to think to myself, is it the right moment? Is it the right person? Is it this person matching an idea or like an emotion that thinks that they might be okay with this? A lot of people don't have this common sense. And in that case, the answer should be, don't do anything. The answer should be, don't say anything. The answer should be, keep it to yourself. And if it's something that you wouldn't want to do to yourself, that probably means that you don't want to do it to somebody else. If it is catcalling, if it is whistling at people, I wouldn't whistle even at my friends and my sister. You know what I mean? To make them a compliment. That's not a compliment. That's just, disrespectful.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they say it well as well when they're showing you the school environment.
Yeah.
It's a responsibility of everybody, especially the government, where there's so much funding getting cut in schools, then it's difficult for teachers that are underpaid, understaffed to then really care or really help. And the thing about this old TV show is that they subtly but really clearly explains all the different steps where society has failed, both the girl and the boy.
Yes,
and it's so
for
subtle.
The girl and the boy, yeah.
It's so subtle, but it's so poignant that it stays in your head afterwards. You don't realize it immediately, but then it makes sense at the end of it.
Yeah, it makes you think a lot. I thought about it a lot. What is your favorite episode? It's 4 of them, no?
Yeah, it's 4 of them.
What
I
was
think
your
my
favorite?
favorite one it's the third one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Julie? The third is the therapist one.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It would be that one. However, I had a horrible feeling for some reason. And of course, it comes with the notes of the TV show. Of course, it's like, he doesn't know how to treat the girl. He doesn't know how to treat women. There's a certain amount of misogyny, like the tiniest one. The fact that she's always talking about his father as well. The therapist is always talking about his father, and it's like, does he get angry at your mom? Like, you can understand it, and she's trying to pinpoint exactly the reason why this kid is going off like that to people, and is trying to blame the father, but at the same time she doesn't want to. And it's just
because it's
so
not
chilling.
his fault.
Of course,
he did his best.
but
actually,
it's just like so chilling. The relations that they have. I got so weirded out by them two speaking. I got incredibly weirded out by them two speaking.
I found it fascinating because I thought that I understood what she was trying to do, but then it backfired on her. Yeah. And then at the end, when it kind of blows up, exactly,
it's not his fault.
When it blows up at her, and then at the end of it, when she's kind of having she's having a panic attack after, because like that was difficult, and you wouldn't think that was gonna happen, by the way the episode started, but how everything escalated so like slowly. I found that really interesting because it also shows you how on a dime that little kid was gonna be, because up until the point you thought, if you hadn't watched immediately the surveillance video of the CCTV of that happening, you wouldn't think throughout the episode that he could have done it until it kind of blows up at her. And it changes immediately on a dime, and it just switches immediately, and you're like, oh my God, there it is. That's the rejection, because he feels rejected by her because she's telling him that she's done visiting him because the sessions are done. And he feels rejected, and it just explodes. And it's the same thing that happened that led to him then killing his high school or whatever school friend. And that was like, wow. It's like, this is what they go through in their mind, because they are not equipped to deal with all of these different emotions, because they get taught that as a man you need to be tough, you need to be hiding your emotions, you don't need to do anything. So you see that, and you see how immediately it switches, and you're like, whoa, this is terrifying.
Yeah. For me, the fourth one killed me.
Yeah?
Yes, it really did. First of all, because I can relate to a family situation in which you try to make it look like everything is fine, but everything is on fire, like, and the building is coming down. So I can relate to that, and how they were trying to control the environment in a way, very unsuccessfully.
Absolutely.
Not for them fault, but and then the father is just like he killed me. He killed me. Like his sense of he's blaming himself, his sense of guilt, even though he's blaming himself, but he also know that he's tried to do his best. That's what kills him, that he doesn't understand what he could have done more. And for him, that wasn't at work. The mother was at home, and the mother's like, yeah, you weren't there, but I was. And also one of the kid is fine, and the other one has killed someone. So they're like, what worked with one and didn't work with the other. Like, it is so devastating to think what he's going through. And honestly, the actor is incredible in conveying that. So the fourth one, yes, for me, the fourth one made it. But anyway, yes, we closed the circle. I wanted to talk.
I love that we start this and we said it's going to be probably a short episode.
Minutes.
We're just going to talk about what we watched today and like
imagine the next one that we're talking the Odyssey.
It will be an hour and 75 minutes.
3 years later, 20 years later, like Odysseus.
2 hours later.
20 years later, we come back. Okay.
28 years later.
And then you watch the map of where he was supposed to go, and you're like, how did you get lost in the Mediterranean Sea, man?
There are some places that they didn't actually understand yet where he was. But anyway, I am going to finish it right now, so I will leave you.
Well done for the mission and the effort.
Honestly, it's not a mission and an effort. Honestly, I have never been so involved with a book in my entire
case,
life.
I had to study and translate.
Yeah, I feel like if you have to study it, it's different.
No, I'm reading it in English. It's like an action movie.
In my case, I'm like reading like you have my book was double your size because I had one side in Greek, verses, and the other side in Italian.
Not even Latin.
No, it was Greek.
No, I'm reading it in English, so it's literally an action book. I love it.
It's a great.
The way that it's written, when he says, they bathed him and rubbed him in oil, and I'm like, yes, I love it.
Homer was a really, really, really clever man, I must say. He was a great storyteller.
It's written in such a way, I love it. Such
really
class
compelling.
and style. Honestly. So I'm loving it.
We're not talking about Homer Simpson though.
No.
For any Gen Z out there, we're not talking about Homer Simpson.
Anyway, I'll see you all. Bye. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, with the ambulance outside my room and Spider-Man coming in.
That heads up to the ambulance.
We will see you next week. Thank you very much for staying with us.